Hey guys, welcome to another session of Live Business Talk with Suzette. Today we have an amazing session today with Tessa from the House of Hair Academy. Tessa, you guys, if you don't know who she is an amazing person. She is out here making serious money moves. She did not come here to play. She is a hairstylist, an instructor. She has opened up the first black-owned hair academy in Canada. She's just overall amazing. So we're going to wait for Tessa to come in. If you have any questions on scaling up your business and how she went about business expansion, drop a question in the comment, and hold on, struggling here. In the comments below, and yeah, I can't wait to start this interview. Hey Tessa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Great.
Good, looking fabulous as always.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really excited for our interview today. I was just given a brief intro. I probably not going to do as much justice as you introducing yourself, because I don't know, you're just doing big boss moves right now. The deeper that I went into your account and just reading about your story, I was just blown away on all the things that you're doing. So I would like you to introduce yourself, what it is exactly that you do, and tell us your story. Tell us the good, the bad, everything that you've been on your journey so far.
I do a lot of things, so it's hard for me to actually sit here and list, all of the things that I do. I know everyone's here, you calling me Tessa. Most people don't know me as Tessa, they know me as London. So tonight, I guess
Oh,
the viewers would have an opportunity to hear from Tessa. I'm gonna be 30 this year.
oh, nice, young. And you did all these big boss moves at 30. That's amazing.
Yes, I'm gonna be 30 this year, and I'm super excited to be accomplishing so many things before 30. I feel like with women, we want to be married, we want to have a certain amount of kids, um,
Yeah,
doing certain things before 30. But for me, 30 is definitely a milestone, and it's definitely an age that I want to be just successful and independent. You know what I mean? Everything else can kind of come after that. But for me,
yeah,
it's all about being self-sufficient,
yeah.
really happy, and just living in purpose. It's basically.
Being independent, it's a big thing. It's a big thing nowadays, especially with COVID, and a lot of people lost their jobs. You're out here building your own empire, right? So you don't, not to say you don't have to worry about losing your job, but you're building your own so that you stand on your own. You've incorporated your business. I see that you have a product line. You open up an academy, the first Black academy. Congratulations
Thank
on that. That's big. That's big moves.
thank
And you're out here doing what other people say they can't do. So, it's amazing. I really want to commend you on your achievements, because a lot of times, especially as women, we don't commend each other, right? A lot of times hate is such an easy thing to throw out there and sit in a corner and be jealous. But
you.
in the day, the grind is something that people don't see. They see you posting that, okay, I open up my academy, I have this product line, but they don't know the back end about it. So
Sure.
if you don't mind, I'd like you to share some of the back end story of when you started being a hairstylist to you open up your own academy, and how you went about that and why you went about that.
For me, and I've spoke about this a lot, so if anyone that's in this live and this is not their first time hearing from me, it may sound very repetitive, but I never actually saw myself being a hairstylist.
Really? Oh,
It was never something that people say, oh, I used to dream about it. I used to play with Barbie dolls. I mean, every girl does, right? But
yeah.
me, it was never something I saw myself doing. I either saw me in the medical field or I saw myself being an attorney, which is, it was always what I wanted to do. I saw myself, traveling, defending people.
Yeah.
But God always has different plans for us, and so I'm just going with the motion.
Mhm.
However, hair is something that I started doing when I was in boarding school. So I
Okay.
moved to Bahamas at a very young age. I think I was about 14 going on 15, and I had enrolled in My mom had afforded me the opportunity to go to school in North Carolina, and by then I had a lot of hair, natural hair, and it was too expensive to deal with. So I
Mhm.
started, watching YouTube videos and kind of doing my own thing, and then doing hair for my roommates, and that's how the hair thing started. And then I moved back to Bahamas after I graduated from high school, and
Mhm.
um, it was just a thing. Like I just started doing it. My friends would want me to do it for them. And then 2012, I graduated from college, and then I went to work for the public health system as a phlebotomist and a nursing aide, and I did that. And even while I was there, I found myself at one point not being 100% happy. And for me,
Okay.
the thing that compromises my happiness is too expensive for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
at one point I found myself ducking out of work. I would go to work at 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm done by 1 o'clock in the day, but my shift doesn't end until 3, 5 o'clock, but I'm gone. I'm missing doing
You're
hair.
gone. You're checked out of there.
Right. So for me, I was more in a happy place, making other women feel good about themselves. Even though in the healthcare system, I had an opportunity to meet a lot of women, meet a lot of people, make a lot of people feel great about themselves because it's also hospitality, right? But I just felt like a gift, it can never be taught, only what's in you can come out of you. And I feel like, God just made a way for me to develop those skills and to perfect it. And now I'm here today doing this. I've worked under a lot of people. I've worked for a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of people, but you don't put all of this work into a brand to just do that all of your life.
Yeah.
Of course, it was risky doing it in a pandemic, but me, I'm a risk taker. And anyone that knows me knows that my favorite thing to say is no risk, no reward. So for me,
Mhm.
I'm always ready to ride a wave, even if
Mhm.
it doesn't look good to the people on the outside looking in. I know what I'm capable of, and I know, what's best for me. So,
That's amazing. So when did you open up your academy? How long ago was that?
well, it hasn't actually been opened yet officially, right? It was supposed to open in January, this month, but of course, pandemic and
Okay.
things locked down right now. So as soon as restrictions are lifted, we will be open.
But it's ready to go right now. Like everything is set up and it's all ready to go. I noticed that you were teaching some courses before, so that was at a different location.
Sorry?
I noticed that you were teaching some classes before. That was at a different location.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I see. Okay, and now you open up your own location. So
Yeah.
were you renting a place before, or what were you, or with you were doing it in conjunction with another
So it
hairstylist?
was at a location where I was working from. So I always host classes. Sometimes they're not
Okay.
all, they're in Montreal. I've been to London, Ontario, but the ones here, yeah, I was doing it at a location that I worked at prior.
Okay, nice. Okay, and now you actually went ahead and you open up your own location. So tell me about that journey. So at what point did you decide? I know you said that you work with a lot of people, you work for a lot of people, but at what point did you realize that I need to do this on my own? I need to open up my own academy. 'Cause that's a big move. That's it, especially
Mhm.
right now. Everyone's trying to scramble and try to like hang on to whatever they have in their pockets to open up a location. It looks beautiful from what I see. That's a lot of money, a lot of work, and some people might say like, why would you do it now in a pandemic? So, what motivated you to say I want to open up my own location versus let me just rent out a spot from someone?
For me, I always want more. And it has a lot to do with the respect you have for your craft. If you respect your craft enough, you're not going to
Mhm.
stay small for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
That's me. Anything that I do, I do it 150%. So,
There you
um,
go.
for me, the move was personal. It didn't have anything to do with, what people see or what everyone on the outside is doing because I'm an individual, and any
There you
decision
go.
is for me and is for the people that I service. So me, on top of me just wanting to give my students and my clients even a different kind of experience, I just felt
Mhm.
that in order to deliver that, I would have to do my own thing, you know? But expanding your brand, if you're expanding, it doesn't matter what's going on the outside. Once you're confident in your dream and you're confident in what you believe in, I don't see an issue doing it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's a difference, like you said, when you're doing it for yourself, because at that point, you can do whatever it is that your vision is, right? When you're working with someone, not to say that it's wrong to work with someone, but you do have a certain amount of limitations because now you have to run everything by your partner or you have to run everything through your boss. When you have your own place, you can, you know, do that vision, whatever it is. I see that you have a product line. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, to be honest, it doesn't have anything to do with working with someone, because I've worked with many people and I was still able to do exactly what it was I needed to do or I wanted to do. You know,
Yeah.
especially in this location that I was working at. I had leeway to do whatever it is that I wanted to do, you know. So,
Okay.
and I also feel like as a culture, we don't feel like it's always best to work with our own, you know, because it's always an issue. But you know, it was no issue for me. I was able to do everything and anything that I needed or wanted to do. It just goes back to character and just being accountable and just being respectful of people's spaces. That's all it is. So it's not. I don't like when people say, you know, I can't do this because I work with someone or I work under someone. I just feel like all it takes is just a conversation, and you just have to know how to respect people and their spaces.
I agree with you 100%. Unfortunately, it does happen a lot where you are working with someone and then someone wants to be the bigger boss. And so now it's like, okay, well, I didn't tell you you could do that. I personally experienced that, and I know a lot of people have. So that's amazing to hear that you actually were in a place working with some amazing people that give that freeway. You don't really encounter that a lot. Like you said, it's a cultural thing where everybody wants to be the boss. No one really wants to work together, right? So it is something that is unfortunately common, that happens quite a lot in business, is that there isn't a respect for each other's craft, right? It's like mine's better than yours, or I put more money to it, or I'm the bigger boss, I've been doing this longer. And so that creates an issue in terms of partnership. And, so it's good to actually hear a positive story where you're like, no, it has nothing to do with that. I actually had great people I was working with. It was just me wanting to scale myself up. So that's really amazing. I also want to talk to you about mindset, because another thing is that a lot of some clients and some people I know personally doing here, they have been doing it for 20 years. They're still doing it in their basement, which is not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say you need to start somewhere, but a lot of times I find that when I'm speaking to certain women about, okay, you know what, why don't you do a storefront? Why don't you scale up? And the mindset is, I can't. It's too expensive, or there's too many people doing out there, so I don't want to risk and open up a location and nobody comes. And I'll say to them, well, you've been open for 20 years and you do this full time, so people are coming. This is what you're doing to sustain yourself. Tell me about your mindset, because I noticed that that's another big thing, part of your branding. You're always speaking affirmations, you're speaking very positively. So tell me about that, and like, what motivates you to stay positive? And I'm pretty sure we have all rough days. What do you do when you have a rough day or rough time? How do you kind of get past that and say, let me keep going, let me still push through this, let me still be positive?
That's so funny, because I was just having a conversation with one of my friends earlier today, and he was telling me how, you know, when you have bad days, it's like everything just goes down the drain. It's like you don't want to do anything. You don't want to do what you're supposed to do. And especially if other people are depending on what it is that you have to offer, it ruins
Mm-hmm.
more than the day, right? And I feel like that has a lot to do with being accountable for the gift that you deliver, and just walking in purpose and being responsible and accountable again for your purpose and whatever it is that you have to deliver on a daily basis. For me, every day is not roses, you know, it's not sunny every day, but um, I find myself to be a very accountable person and very responsible. And I too know for a fact that I cannot afford to have a bad day. You know, I feel like it's a state of, and if you
Mm-hmm.
start on a high note, then you finish on a higher note. You know, today for me was a very day. I woke up today not feeling the best, but I know for sure that I had something to deliver today, and I had to be accountable enough to pull myself together and seek the motivation that I needed to seek to carry on the day. You know, by the time I was in my third virtual meeting today, I was out of it. You know what I mean, mentally. And the person that I was in a meeting with was like, you know, Tess, you don't look good. And I felt terrible, because it's like, even though you're feeling something, your client should not see that or should not feel
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, we're only human, but you have to be accountable for yourself, and you have to be accountable to your brand. So having a bad
Mm-hmm.
day, I think, the mindset. And if you tell yourself that, and if you believe that, then that's what it's gonna be. But you have to be responsible enough to do the things that you need to do to make sure that your day goes by smoothly. When you're alone,
Mm-hmm.
you're off the clock at the end of the day, you can afford to do that if that's what you want to do. But
Yeah.
not the clock is ticking because we don't have time for all of that, you know? We don't have time
Yeah.
for parties. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's really what it is as far as having a bad day. Um,
Yeah.
as far as expansion and moving out of as a service provider,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I worked out of my home for a very long time. Even back in Bahamas, I was working out of my home. So it's been maybe 11 years that I
Mm-hmm.
worked out of my home. And
Mm-hmm.
coming into my home, it was just like you were coming into a salon because I made it that comfortable. You know, for me, I'm a people pleaser, so service for me had to always be A1. You know, but I feel like there are a lot of people out there that are afraid to kind of make the move because one, they don't want to work with people because of the horror stories they've heard. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with, I mean, I agree, I kind of agree with them with that because for me, I'm very protective over my personal space. I'm very protective over my energy. And like I said earlier in the live, anything that kind of troubles my peace or my energy, I have to cut it off. I can't deal with it. So for them, just imagine them having to be in a space most of the day because when you're a hairstylist or you provide a service, that's what you do, that you spend all of your day doing that, you know, sometimes 12, 13 hours out of the day. So just imagine having to deal with that mental stress of having to deal with people and their bad attitudes, their bad energy all day. So for some of them, it's like a mental thing. They feel
Mm-hmm.
safer, you know, working
Yeah.
at their home, whereas they don't have to answer to anyone. They don't have to pay any extra overheads. But I don't feel like not wanting to take on a responsibility financially because you
Mm-hmm.
save money to do frivolous things. I don't agree with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go all in.
Yeah.
For a very long time, anything that I made had to go back into my businesses. Even now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
myself having to do that because, of course, we're in a pandemic, and this was not planned for anyone. You know,
Yeah.
so if you had a savings in the middle of 2020, that's done by now because you're finding anyone that's in business and that really dedicates themselves to their business, like me. I go hard for my businesses. You know, if I have to go without a shoe or a lash appointment or having my nails refilled, I will do that because my businesses come first. You know, so it's all about mentality again. It's about mindset. It's, you know, what people deem priority. For me, my businesses are my priorities. I will go hungry to make sure that my rent is paid. You know, and
See that?
that's just me. But everyone's not like me. So, but there are a lot of people out there that are just like me, and they will do the same thing to make sure that their businesses are functioning at 150% always.
For sure. There is a number of women out there, especially. You mentioned something very, very important about mentality, is that you have to be of that mind frame, that positive mind frame. I'm gonna win today. I'm gonna do it today. A lot of times, where I find that small businesses, they face challenges, they get, they lose their momentum, right? Like you said, and it's hard because we're humans. Sometimes we're driven by our emotions. It's hard sometimes to put aside our feelings and say, okay, you know what? I know I had an argument with my boyfriend. I had an argument with my kids or somebody, and but I need to leave that at the door and I need to move on because now my client, especially as a hairdresser, as a hairstylist, it's a big thing because I could tell you many stories where I went to get my hair done and I could feel the energy, same thing that your client felt, and I'm like, I don't know if I want you putting your hand in my hair, and
Right.
it doesn't create, part of getting your hair done is, of any business, is experience, right? So you can be an amazing hairstylist, but if you have a poor attitude, you're not engaging me, you're not asking me how my day was, we're just sitting there. I've had that before where I was getting my hair braided for 4 hours and she said absolutely nothing to me. I
Oh,
was trying to make
wow.
how it was the longest 4 hours of my life.
That must
And
have
I
been
left
terrible.
yeah, and it's just like, it made me so uncomfortable. I mean, my hair looked great, but the experience was poor. And because of that, it wasn't worthwhile for me to want to go back there, right? Because at that point, I didn't get everything that I wanted. I got my hair done, but
Hmm.
a large part of it is that experience, right? So it's very challenging, again, because we're humans. You don't want to take away, we're going to have bad days, but there is something as a business owner that you have to differentiate your feelings from your business, right? If someone says, I didn't really like how we did my hair, instead of getting upset, I see that so many times where a client expresses how they feel, and then the business owner gets offended. And it's like, well, no, this is an opportunity for you to say to them, okay, I'm sorry about that. What is it that you don't like? Instead, I've seen it where, well, if you don't like it, like, then go somewhere else. That's a poor attitude. What kind of business, are you displaying for you?
Right.
It's not a good look. And so it's very challenging, I find, for a lot of business owners to say, put aside their feelings. You had an argument with somebody or something happened, your car broke down the way, leave it at the door. I know it's easier said than done, but it's something that's a huge part, because you can mess up that experience for your client because it's something that you experienced. I'm paying you my money. So not to say I don't care what happened to you, but I'm paying for an experience. I'm paying you to, do my hair, to make me feel good, for me to feel good inside and out. And that's part of it. A lot of times people don't realize being a business owner isn't just having one skill. Right. Not just about being a good chef, not just being about a great hairstylist. It's about making someone feel good. And that's one of the main things that you opened up and said is, I like to make women feel good. So it's important to have the mentality and know how to separate that feeling. And as soon as you turn that door, you say, okay, I'm going into work now. Let me leave what happened behind and let me put on, not my face, but let me put on.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's important. I appreciate that you recognize that. And even the other thing you mentioned too about the drive, a lot of people, like you said, are comfortable. They're comfortable in their space. That's what they've been doing for 20 years, 10 years. And, why should I fix it if it's not broken? Well, I'm a firm believer of scaling up too. I've had, this is not my first business, but I've had many other businesses before. And some people, I don't understand it, because it's like, you already put so much time and effort into doing this much. Why not put a little bit more to go a bit bigger and then go a bit bigger? But like you said, not everybody's wants to do that, right? Some people are okay, collecting whatever amount each week. If you can make 50,000 versus 10,000, why not make the 50, right? What's it going to cost you? So mentality is a huge thing. Part of what I do in the beginning when I'm speaking to a business owner, I ask them about their mindset. Like, I do this whole psychology test to see where they are mentally, because I can tell you how to run your business and all the things that you should do differently and all the things you're doing great. But if your mind's not there, the conversation is redundant, pointless, right? So I really like your mentality on that, and it's great that you're also a mentor, right? You offer mentorship program. Is it only for women that are aspiring to be hairstylists, or is it kind of open for anyone in the business?
No, it's actually for anyone. Actually, today I started with 2 new mentees, and they're actually guys.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
They're guys.
Okay.
And I'm so
wow.
excited to display them on my platform once we're done with the first part of the program. And working with them, it was super interesting. And as a woman, it was kind of humbling for me to just see them vulnerable and, in a state where they actually admit that they need help with certain things, and they want help from a woman's perspective and not from a man's perspective, So it was fun. It was fun and it was interesting, and I can't wait. But yeah.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that. That's great. That's amazing. And you see mindset again, right? Because some people, you talk to them like, oh, I would never go to a woman for advice. Why would I go to a woman? Well, what does that matter? If she's
Right.
knowledgeable, if she's experienced, what does that matter? But again, that mentality, right? Some people, unfortunately, are going to be stuck. We're talking about people that want to be unstuck, that want to grow, right? So that's amazing to hear. I wanted to ask you, so you have a son. I mentioned you have a son. How old is he?
He's 10. He's 10 years
old. 10. Okay, big. Okay. So as a mother, as a multi-business owner, how do you manage time? That's another common challenge that a lot of business owners and parents face. Not only just mothers, because there's a lot of fathers out there, single fathers as well. But even for me, with my kids, and at the time I was married, it was still hard to balance everything because, I had business, but I still need to be a mother. And it was very hard to say, okay, put in my 150% in my business, as well as being a mother full-time. So tell me how you go about managing all the different hats that you're wearing as a parent, as a business owner, as a mentee. What's your day like? Like, how do you manage your time?
Well, my son and I, we have a very, very special kind of relationship. He's very aware of my lifestyle. He's very aware of exactly who I am as a person, and he gets the literal best of me, you know, for every single time. And I'm a hero to him, you know. He sees me working hard every day. He's very humble. He's always showing gratitude. You know, sometimes when I come home at night, he would take my shoes off, take my bag upstairs. Yeah, he always wants to know if I'm okay. You know, just being well loved is super important. You know, I always say that I don't think, you know, a woman can raise a man necessarily, but the only thing we can do is love them and teach
Mhm.
them how to love and what love is and how to show compassion. And, you know, that's my strength. I'm a very lovable person. I'm full of compassion, and that's my strength. And that's what I do as far as my son is concerned. But my day is pretty hectic, but you know, he helps it to go by a bit smoother because he's very responsible. Even though he's only 10 years old, he knows exactly, you know, what he has to do to play his role in this process of mommy becoming a millionaire, because all of us are gonna benefit, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He's with it. He's with it. He gives
yeah. That's amazing.
and anyone that's ever met my son, they know the type of person that Mark Anthony is. So
Mhm.
he's
Oh,
good
I love that name.
name.
Yeah.
You know, so being a mom is in the beginning it was kind of hard because he was younger, and of course he didn't understand why I had to be away all the time because I always had multiple jobs, you know.
Mhm.
Now I have multiple businesses, and so the narrative has changed a little bit, but he definitely appreciates everything that I do a lot more now because he understands, you know, exactly what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah, it's good to have that conversation. I think that's another thing that a lot of parents unfortunately oversee is having that conversation. I myself was guilty of that when my kids were much younger, and I had to go. I used to be a wedding planner before, and I'd have to be gone all weekend, and I would just go. Mommy's going to work, and it was. I remember one time I was taking out my bag, and my son started to cry. He's like, "Well, mommy, I'm not going to see you for the next 2 days," and I felt horrible. And then I realized that I had to have a conversation with him for him to understand. It's not mommy leaving the house to, go to work. Mommy's trying to build an empire. Mommy's trying to build it so that eventually one day I don't have to leave. I could be making money with my eyes closed, and then we can do all the fun things. So I think that there is a certain amount of sacrifice that you have to make, but it makes it hopefully a bit more easier on the child if you have that conversation with them, regardless of how young they are. Because a lot of times we assume that kids are too small and
But then
they don't know any better.
they
So, and especially my son's 10 now as well. And before, when he was 6, I would say, oh no, he's too small. Like, I'm gone. And I was so dismissive of it, not realizing that I was gone out of the house for such a long period of time, especially on weekends when, he's home. And that was a really shortcoming on my end. And
right.
so I felt badly. And then when I had a conversation with him, he was so receptive to it. He goes, yeah, mommy, I know you're trying to make money so that we can have a big house and live on the islands. I keep talking about that. And I said, yeah. And so I think it's really important to open your child, especially when you're a business person. It's not a 9 to 5. Like, you're working in,
Work,
you're long. Oh, sorry?
you work harder when you're a business owner.
Oh yeah, yeah. I read this meme that I'm going to quit my 40-hour work week to work 100 hours for myself, and that's exactly it. So even when I'm home and I'm in my office and I say, okay, guys, like I'm having meetings, don't disrupt me. Even though I'm home, I'm not really there. So it's about having that conversation and managing the time as well, right? So maybe as a full-time stay-at-home mom, I'm not as home with my kids as much, but you still have to factor in time. That was something else that I was so caught up in doing business, like just in and out, respond to clients and respond to emails right as it came in. I didn't have a balance. And so, it's something that I learned over the years. And I think that, that's another reason why I like to share my story is that don't make the same mistakes that I made.
Right.
Because not that it was too late, but it wasn't until my son was crying, I didn't realize that it was affecting him the way that it
Right. Mhm.
so now I'll speak to mothers and say, okay, tell me what your day is like. And they'll get up, I respond to emails, and then I get them lunch, and then blah, blah, blah. And I say, well, what time do you have for your kids? What time do you have for yourself? That's the other big thing. As business owners, which I'm pretty sure you can relate to as being a multi-business owner, our time for ourselves is one of the last things that we do, right? So how do you schedule in time for yourself? Just like no business. I am taking this 1 hour to take a nice long bath or to get my hair done. Like, how do you factor in the me time?
Well, I do take long baths, like 2 hours.
Oh, I love it. 2 hours.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now with taking an actual day off, like I want to have, and my friend is always arguing with me about taking a day off, where you don't do anything, you don't answer your phone, you stay away from Instagram. But for me, it's kind of hard because my money is on my phone.
Yeah.
Like if I don't respond to a DM fast enough, that's my money walking out the door. And I don't want, I need every penny of it. So I can't afford to ignore, what I mean, my clients or potential clients. I can't afford that. But I feel like if you just bring your clients to a level where they have to respect you, which, and I feel my clients do respect me, so they would understand if I say, okay, today's Monday, I'm closed on Mondays, I'm off, no DMs until Tuesday. You know what I mean? If you need to know anything, then you can just holler at me on Tuesday. But my days are full. Every single day my days are full. I start at 6 a.m. I do my affirmations in the morning. I don't miss that. I journal and I respond to DMs, emails, just set up my day, because once I start working, that's it. I'm not able to monitor any DMs. I'm just happy I don't have to deal with the phone going off all day, because I don't really give my number to no one. No, none of my clients have my contact,
Awesome. Yeah. Imagine your phone being hot 24/7. Yeah.
And having all of that. But it's better now because my son is in virtual school. So he doesn't have to, I don't have to worry about getting him to school on time, picking him up on time. He comes downstairs in the morning and he's on his Zoom at 9 a.m.
There you go. There you go. There's a lot of good things with them being virtual. A lot of things that I'm like, go back to school now. But it's I'm sorry.
But this year, I definitely, made it my business to dedicate at least a day or two to me and to things that I want to do without work. So it's necessary. It's necessary for the mind and it's necessary for the body.
Yeah.
I have to
You need
take.
a reset. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need a bit of a reset because, like you said, you get up 6 a.m. and then you probably, what time do you typically go to bed?
I try to be in bed at 30.
At what time? What time, sorry?
30.
9:30? Okay.
Yeah, I try to be in bed by then, but
Mm-hmm.
it kind of never works for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then once I get to bed, my mind is always going. So I feel like I have to fight myself all the time to go to sleep. Sometimes I
Yeah.
until 2 a.m. in the morning, just
That's,
motivational stuff. But I don't waste time.
mhm.
I'm always feeding myself with positive things and things that I need to know. Always. Like I don't like idle conversation.
Yeah. Yes. Sound like me. I'm like, what did you call me for? What was it? Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, you're
Yeah.
so rude,
No,
but
text
you
me.
have sorry?
Text me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. And one of the things that you also mentioned was that you get up, you do your affirmations, and you schedule. So your schedule is that you just writing out what you have planned for today, like your goals for the day, like you're breaking down your time. What's your schedule like? Like, what is it that you write down in your schedule?
Well, my plans are scheduled days in advance. So I already know what I'm gonna do tomorrow from Friday, of last week. Or I never start the week without having an actual full calendar of things to do. And even though I'm closed right now, I still have a lot going on. And I'm just happy that my mentorship programs were able to take off and they're doing really well. So I don't necessarily have to focus on hair right now, but I'm still, trying to find strategies and create different ways for my students to learn, without having to actually see me in person.
Mhm. And that's one of the benefits of running multiple businesses. It's a lot of work, a lot, because you're again putting on more hats. For each business, there's multiple hats, and then now you have different businesses, there's more hats. But one of the benefits of having multiple businesses is that if one, is going down for a little bit because of COVID, but you have and something else to fall back on, right? So that's really great about doing the mentorship program. And I think you're doing the online training as well. Are you doing the
Yeah.
online? Yeah. Was that always online, or is that online as a result of COVID?
As a
With
result
the
of COVID, I hate online trainings, to be
yeah,
honest.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't like
you're
that. I don't like online anything. I,
like
yeah. I'm like an in-person kind of girl. I like to
I
be,
like
so I don't like the online thing. It sucks.
yeah,
But we're
definitely.
making it work for now.
Yeah.
But as soon
There's
as,
hope is things hopefully come back to some sort
yeah,
of
I don't think, I don't know. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but I don't feel like we're gonna be at this lockdown thing for much longer. I think that keeps me going. Just kind of saying to myself, just give it 2 more weeks, give it 3 more weeks. Give it,
yeah.
in the meantime, between time, I'm still hustling, I'm still planning, I'm still preparing. I love to be prepared and I love to plan, because I don't want when, outside is opened again and I'm just scrambling around trying to figure things out. I want to be prepared ahead of time, you know?
And that's good because there's people like me who need to get their hair done and like you're knocking on the door. You're gonna have a long lineup. Okay, I can imagine how busy you're gonna be.
And I'm
Because women, I'm struggling. Like I've been putting in this ponytail, just strapping it up. 'Cause I don't know how to do hair myself, and it was horrible. And mom's like, you have one dread. I'm like, it's all I can do.
horrible. Doesn't look, you're okay.
No, thank you. Try to do a thing. I come on with you. Okay, I have to look decent. I was gonna put on a hat, but
Okay.
and it's good that you're still, like you said, planning is such a big thing because people right now are like, oh, my business is shut down. There's nothing I can do. Yeah, go online. Even though you don't like it, that's another thing. Is that part of being a good business owner, an efficient business owner, is doing the things you don't like doing. You don't like to be online, but that's the name of the game. That's what's going on right now. You're moving along with the waves, right? So a lot of times I see that where people are unmotivated because their flow's messed up. And it's like, no, like a GPS, reroute now, what way can you go, right? If you don't know online, learn, because everything is online. Like I've been doing pure Zoom calls. I'm so exhausted with Zoom calls, but that's the way of the world right now, right? So then when things happen and things reopen, at least you're prepared.
Right.
One other thing I want to ask you about is that given all the multiple businesses, so you have your product line, you have your academy, you're a hairstylist. Is there any other business that you do outside of those three?
Yeah, I own a restaurant.
Yeah, I noticed that because I saw you post it, and then I saw it in your bio. I was like, wait, did she have the Waffle House?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, girl. You're 30, not even 30 yet. You're 29, and you're doing all these you're such an inspiration. I'm a little bit older than 30, but you're such an inspiration because even when I feel like I'm doing so much things, I'm not doing half of those things. You're running a whole restaurant? What?
Actually run it.
You own it.
My mom is my mom, she's a momager. Like, honestly, if I didn't have my mother, I don't know who I would be, where I honestly do not know. But my mom, she holds it down. Like, she holds it down, So I'm looking forward to these millions so I could retire her permanently.
See, that's a sacrifice you put in now so that when you're 40, because at the rate you're going, it'll probably be, maybe 10 years.
I'm betting on 35.
Oh, 35. There you go.
I'm betting on 35. I spent my entire 20s working, just putting in work. I didn't party. I didn't get drunk. I didn't take trips. I wasn't flued out. I could have been, but this is, I need long-term. I need stability. I need to go whatever it is that I'm going into with mine.
Yeah.
So
the parties will always be there. Parties will always be there.
Oh, for
sure. The same stale people at the parties that were there 10 years ago. You're not missing anything.
I'm more of like a private, intimate setting kind of girl anyway. Like the club was never really my thing. I live the party always, but among my family and close friends. I don't venture outside of my immediate, like my immediate circle. That's just, I have no issue turning up whenever.
Around family. Yeah. So the Waffle House, how long have you had that business open for?
July of last year.
Oh, and during the pandemic too?
Yeah.
did not come here to play. What?
Yeah.
I thought you had a wow. So you opened up a restaurant, a whole entire guys. I don't know if you know what is behind opening up a restaurant. I have made one attempt, and I was like, too much. There's a lot. Where is that? Down? Is that in Toronto? Whereabouts is
Yeah,
that?
sure, actually.
Toronto.
Make sure what?
In Toronto. You guys, like, no excuses. She's a mother. She has opened up two storefronts, a restaurant and a hair salon. Beautiful restaurant, beautiful hair salon during a pandemic. Like, come on, like. So tell me, so with the Waffle House, is that something like right now? Are you doing takeout only, or is it shut down?
No, no, we're open. We're
So
full.
I keep posting food on there. Like I wanna, I'm all the way east. I want to make a trip down there and come and pick up something.
We're the drive.
Yes, we're the drive. There you go. Okay, all right. No, I love my belly, so you don't have to tell me twice. Okay, so that's great. So you have that business running. I want to ask you about your team. So you mentioned your mom. To a certain extent, your son's involved as even inspiration. Who else do you have on your team? Because it's another thing too with being a business owner, even if it's one business, depending on the scale of it, having a team is super important. Whether it's someone who just motivates you, someone that your accountability partner, someone that just kind of pushes you along, or if it's someone that responds to your DMs, or someone that's overseeing. I'm gonna assume that with all the businesses that you have a team. So tell me who's on your team and what role they play.
As far as my academy, I have an investor for that, and
Okay, nice.
he's like a big brother to me, you know? And as far as that, like that's about it.
Do you have like any admin staff? If you don't have anybody like running doing your emails, or like you respond to all those on your own?
No, I have an assistant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have
Mm-hmm.
an assistant, and she deals with all my admin stuff, but outside of that, it's me.
It's all you.
Yeah.
There you go.
As far as
Right.
hair, as for anything hair related, it's me and my assistant. The Waffle House, it's my mom. We have employees, and that's about that. But it's just me and family. You know, I have one or two close friends that I would talk to as far as business is concerned. Um, I'm actually getting ready to launch another business with four of my colleagues and very close friends. Um, it's totally different and outside of beauty or food, the food industry. But
Oh, sorry, the phone cut out. Oh, I can't hear you.
towards those are the.
Sorry, I didn't hear it cut out.
Can you
Sorry, I
hear me?
didn't. I didn't. Now I can. Yeah.
Can you hear?
But I missed that part. I missed that you said it's something outside of what you're doing now.
Yeah, it's something totally outside of the food or the beauty industry, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very, very excited about that because the people that I'm working with, they're amazing. They're really amazing. And everybody brings something different to the team, you know? So it's always work. So I don't really, at this point, I would like to hire more people, but it doesn't make sense right now because we're not able to function at 100% capacity, you know? It's either business for hair, it's just pick up. I'm shipping out products every day. People are shopping online. People are buying classes. But me and my assistant, we can handle the load right now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good. One other thing with so you have your assistant. How did you go about? Because even those assistant does play a very big role. I've had business owners tell me that they've had challenges finding that right person to respond to the email because sometimes they don't check the grammar, or they shorthand. How did you go about finding an assistant? How long has she been working with you, and how did you go about finding her in terms of like selecting that person that is the right fit for you?
My assistant now that I have right now, she's not permanent. She's
Mm-hmm.
just helping me out right now while she's not in school. But
Mm-hmm.
I still have to find a permanent assistant, and finding a permanent assistant is very hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard because for me, my information is very fragile, you know? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so trying to find someone that's respectful for one, accountable, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
that's all I can say. It's it's even finding good employees. It's hard.
Yeah, yeah, it's
hard. Trust me. I don't even know what to say about that, but
it's a common struggle, not struggle, I want to say challenge, because especially when you put in so much work and effort in your business, you want to make sure that your employees respect it, likewise, right? Especially the closer they get to knowing some of your private information, you want to make sure that they're not going to go and tell people your numbers or go and, you know, talk about your business. So it's a common challenge that a lot of business owners face. You know, it's just about having that feel for someone, asking them the right questions. You know, not sometimes people ask the general, do you show up to work on time? But I think that it goes deeper. A lot of scenario-based questions are really effective when interviewing someone to say, okay, if this was a situation, what would you do? Right? And you can tell when someone's given a cookie cutter answer versus if they know what they're saying, right? So it is something that is very challenging for a lot of business owners, but hopefully, you know, if she doesn't turn out to be long term, I hope that you can find someone that's trustworthy. Yeah, because I can imagine all the stuff that you have on your head. You know, you're managing it very well, but like you said, and I'm glad that you still factor in, you know, self-care time, because that's a lot of things that most business owners don't do. I hope that eventually you can have a bit more of a break and have someone to kind of oversee and just be an extra pair of hands. So, but it sounds like you have a lot of great people around you and in place. Family is a really big thing, and I'm glad that you're able to have an understanding with them and they know their role and that you guys are working out efficiently, because a lot of times you hear that too. Businesses break up because of families, right? This one did that or some sort of drama. It happens all the time, even with families. I'm sorry? Oh, let's cut it out again. Oh,
people keep
sorry.
calling.
Oh, that's why all your calls. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, imagine. Okay.
No,
yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh my God. Sorry, I got another call.
Oh, that's okay. I can imagine your phone's busy. So, what were you saying about family?
No, my family's solid. You know, me and my brothers, we argue just like any siblings, but they're my everything. And my mom, I can't, you know, like I can't thank her enough for being the amazing person that she is, because she's solid and has my back, like no matter what. You know,
Yeah.
we're so alike. We argue so much, but we can argue right now and in 2 minutes we want to eat.
Get over it. Let's move on to business. Yeah. That's good. I'm very happy for you. I'm glad that you're on your way to doing many more big things. I can't wait to hear what the next business is going to be. I absolutely love your brand. I love the store. I can't wait to watch the opening of it. Hopefully one day I can make it out there. I don't come to Toronto too often. I need to. I have to mentally prepare for that drive I'm out in Oshawa, so I'm not too far, but and I wish you all the best with everything. I'm very proud of you. Sister to sister, a lot of times, you know, it's another thing that we have to be able to support each other and say, you're doing great. You know, you're doing an amazing job. I don't know you I just know you from Instagram, and just to see what you're doing, the way you're building your brand, the way how you're speaking, how you your business, of the people that work along with you, and of your plans, you're solid, and I'm seeing that from my heart, and I'm happy to see that you're making all these money moves. You're still very young. I need to set my game up like 1,000 times, you know, and it's good. I like that kind of motivation. I love that kind of energy where you're like, I'm trying to grow. I want people to grow with me. I'm going to mentor. This is another thing, is that people don't want to help each other, right? A lot of times people are like, no, I'm not going to tell you. No, I do it here. I'm not going to show you how to do it. And there's enough to eat. There's more than enough to eat in this world. And people don't realize that, right? So it doesn't make sense in being jealous, because you never know who you might have to reach out to. You could triple book yourself, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need help, and then you reach out to one of your mentees, one of the girls that you train. I need you to do this here for me, right? Can you come in? So it's another thing about business is building relationships. A lot of times people think, no, I have the skill, I know what I'm doing, I'm great at business. It's about having great people around you. So whether they're officially part of your team or they're just there for support, it's good to have a great outlook and to have a positive team. So I commend you on everything you're doing. You're doing an amazing job. I'm going to be on your stories, like stalking you. What is she doing now? I love it. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. for joining me today and for talking about your business and your journey. I can't wait to see everything
Thank
else.
you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, you have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.